Good morning. So in today's class, we'll start with session 3 on sustainable management of natural resources. So in our previous class, we understood what is wildlife. So forest is wildlife and forest. So forest is nothing but called as a biodiversity hotspot. We understood about what are stakeholders, who are the stakeholders of the forest, how they are important to the forest, and we cannot, to conserve the forest, it's not that we have to remove the stakeholders or remove the tribal people, abandon people from entering the forest. It is best is like to conserve the forest, we have to use the natural resources judiciously, and since there are some poaching of animals also, that has to be stopped to conserve our wildlife. So in today's class, we will study about water for all. Yes, we all know that water is a basic necessity for all the living organisms on the earth, both terrestrial as well as aquatic. So how do these water bodies get the water from? Rainfall is the one source where all the water bodies get replenished every time. As in when we use them, through rainfall it gets replenished. Now, though we have a rainfall in the monsoon season, yet the water bodies get replenished after certain usage, but still we are unable to store and harvest it in a proper way, because more and more what is happening is, as the rainwater is collected in the many of the water bodies, but it is not recharged in the ground. What do you mean by recharged in the ground? It is not stored in the ground in a proper manner. Now, what could be the reason for water not to be recharged in the ground or stored in the ground? That is because of vegetation. For example, if there is no vegetation on a particular land for a longer period of time, the land gets barren. So, more and more water cannot seep into the ground. And the second thing is largely populated, or what you can say, as it is largely populated, more and more crops are grown, and more crops are grown, more of water is required by that. That is the second thing. Third thing is, what is happening? We are letting out all the sewage waste or the industrial waste into the rivers, seas, etc. So the water bodies are getting polluted. Since it is getting polluted, the groundwater also gets polluted. So that is the only reason we are not able to store or recharge the groundwater in a proper manner. So there it comes in a particular time. Like, if a best example, if I have to give you, we all have you all are aware about the borewell, right? So when we dig the water, we want it, sometimes the groundwater is not available at a particular place. Sometimes it is readily available in a particular place when you dig it. Why is that? Because recharging of the groundwater, that is what we call. In a period of time, if everybody will start digging the borewell, then there will be no recharging in the groundwater. So what we have to do, what alternative measures can be taken to recharge the groundwater, we will study in this part. Now when we talk about water harvesting is nothing but storing water. Now how do we store water? Basically, now how do we store water in our house? We store it in a drum, we store it in a tank, bottles, vessels, etc. Right? Similarly, in different parts, in the different states in India, water is harvested or stored in a particular way. So let us understand the names of the different states and how the water is stored in that particular state. Let us first understand that. Now, these are the different states in India. That is how the water is harvested. Now, when we talk about water harvesting, it is not that the physical water storing in the sense like how we store in bottles, vessels, drums and tanks. It is not that type. It is underground water recharge, that is groundwater recharge. How the water is stored underground in the sense, why? Because when the water is stored underground, that is free from all human activities, that will not get contaminated. Mosquitoes will not start breeding. Now, even if you have an open tank which is kept anywhere, so what will happen after a few days if it is not clean? So mosquitoes start breeding, insects, worms will start growing in them, right? But this is an underground system which we call it as a groundwater recharging. So this is how the water is stored or recharged in underground, that is groundwater, what we say. So in different parts, that is in Rajasthan, it is done in the form of khadans, tanks and nadis. We will be studying about the khadan system of harvesting water, recharging groundwater in detail further. In Maharashtra, it is done in the form of bandharas and tals. Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, bandis. Bihar, aharas and pines. Himachal Pradesh, kals. Jammu region, ponds. Tamil Nadu, eris, which is nothing but a tank. Now this is not, when we talk about a tank, it is not actually a physical tank, what we call. Yes, though it is a physically part, but the water is recharged underground. Kerala, surangams, and in Karnataka, which is called as kattas. So these, now basically when we see the word katta is very familiar to us. What do we say? For example, like you pot a plant or you put a sapling, what do you make so that the water is stored in that particular point so that the water does not move away easily? We make a small katta against a sapling, correct? So similar way, these things are harvested. So as I told, so khadan system of harvesting water will be going through in detail. The only advantage of water harvesting in this form is that water is not polluted. Water is not contaminated by human activities. Mosquitoes will not start breeding. So it is safe enough to harvest the water and use it in a different sources. Now apart from this, when we talk about, we also call nowadays rainwater harvesting. So what is rainwater harvesting actually? It is simple. Rainwater, we are harvesting rainwater. That means we are collecting the rainwater, pumping it to a tank and utilizing it for several household purposes. Say like cleaning, washing or gardening. All these things we are utilizing it. So what basically happens in the rainwater, if you say a small figure or a diagram, if I have to say. So this is a rain, right? So this water is made sure that when the water falls on the ground, so there is a steam-like system and that is being collected in a underground tank-like system. It is not that you say, I want to go for rainwater harvesting. There has to be a particular system implemented in your house. Only then you can use this rainwater harvesting system. Nowadays, all the new houses which are being built are based on rainwater harvesting is already done. So this water is collected. As I am trying to explain this in a simple manner, so what you can understand. So the rainwater, what is the rain which falls on the ground, which is made to flow in a steep-like manner, that is being collected in the underground pond or a tank-like thing. So what actually happens in this? Purification also takes place in a wet manner. Then this, using a pump, this water is pumped to the overhead tank. One specially tank built for this rainwater harvesting only, not with your usual tank what you have, right? So this is pumped to a tank. Now from this tank you have a direct supply to your garden, say for washing vehicles, gardening, watering, all these things it can be used. Now we can say India, Tamil Nadu is the only state where this rainwater harvesting is utilized to a maximum than any other state as of now. Though we are also implementing it, but Tamil Nadu stands first in rainwater harvesting. So this is also one way of recharging water. But here what we are doing, we are not collecting we are not recharging the groundwater, but we are utilizing the rainwater for other forms. And rainwater harvesting can be only used during the monsoon season, not throughout. So this is one way how we can harvest the water. Now when we talk about harvesting, we also talk about dams here. Now what are dams? So we have studied about the dams in our previous chapter. Why we construct dams, its advantages, disadvantages. Yes, we'll discuss once again here. So dams are nothing but they are the barriers which are constructed for the flow of water so that the water level can rise and later utilized for many purposes. So now it is utilized for what purposes? It is utilized for irrigation, then what you can say for cultivation of the land. It is as well utilized for production of electricity. We studied that hydropower plant works. How hydropower plant works? The water which is falling from a height is made to fall on a turbine and the turbine rotates. So now here what happens? The water falls from a reservoir which is at a very height. So when the water falls on the turbine rotates. So advantages of dams, when we talk about, they are utilized in many ways. Production of electricity, since it is renewable, we already discussed this, and for irrigation, for cultivation, etc. But there are also certain disadvantages when we talk about dams. Now, what are those disadvantages? One is social, or you can say one is the social cause, one is the economic cause. So what do you mean by a social cause here? Social cause in the sense, lot many people have to be shifted from the place where the dams are constructed. So many people have to, what do you say, human habitation is compromised, right? We all discuss these points. Why they have to be compromised? Because to build a dam, large area is required. So to compensate that, the habitation which is living in and around the area have to shift. Same as the water bodies also have to move around. Apart from that, forest deforestation also takes place, because sometimes the place where we have to build a dam, in case if it is near the forest, they have to cut down the forest. So social causes, what we can talk about here. When we talk about economic causes, what it could be, a large amount of or you can say a huge amount of money is invested in building a dam. Not only amount, it is also the people's money is also put into this. So what we get the efficient, we get the efficient amount of result out of a dam, but initially to build a setup, a huge amount of money is required. So these are the few disadvantages of the dam. Next, let us now understand how is the Khadan system of harvesting done in detail in a pictorial form. So this is the traditional water harvesting system, that is the ideal setting of the Khadan system. So what actually happens here, or what is a Khadan? Khadan is also called a Dora. It is an ingenious construction designed to harvest the surface runoff for agriculture. A Khadan system is based on a principle of harvesting rainwater on a farmland, and subsequent use of this water is saturated for the land for crop production. Now, when we talk about this, we say this is a catchment area. Now, what do you mean by a catchment area? Catchment area, something what we can catch. It is something where the rain falls, the water is catched, and it is as the steep is there, the water flows through this steep. Now, can you see a barrier here? This is called as a Khadan bund. That is nothing but a barrier made out of bricks, so that the water which seeps out from here is collected in this bund. So since the water gets collected here, it seeps into the groundwater, right, which is further used for crop production. Khadan is a rainwater management system in Rajasthan, as we already discussed. This is known as the Dora. This approach consists of an earthen embankment built across the slope, which facilitates the accumulation of the water. The embankment is usually situated in the lower slope of the hills. See, we cannot be making Khadan system anywhere. There has to be a lower slopement of the hill so that the water can steep very easily. The accumulated or the harvested water is mainly used for the purpose of irrigation and agricultural field. Now, since we have enough groundwater, in case if you dig a well nearby to the Khadan bund, that means you get enough and more water. This water is utilized for the agricultural process. So this is a traditional system of Khadan system. So we understood now the Khadan system of harvesting water. Now again, if I talk about the advantages as we already discussed, now we can as well make tank or a pond kind of a thing to store the water. But what happens once we make that physical storing, there it attracts lots of pollution, human activities, worms, etc. To avoid that, we are recharging it underground. That means we are harvesting it and storing it underground. And nearby, if you dig a well or a bore well, that means you can get the water very easily, because nearby itself we have recharged it, right? That is one way. So there are different water harvesting system done in the different states of India, as we discussed the names here. Only one Khadan system was discussed. So this is about the lesson, sustainable management of natural resources. So at the last, we can understand that we have to conserve our natural resources by using it judiciously, try to avoid the wastage of it, try to reuse it by following 5 R's what we discussed. So in today's class, if you have any doubt, you can call on the same day of the video set. Thank you.